It's Pete here with the Small Business Resource Center and the Small Business Resource Center YouTube channel with a very important update with the Paycheck Protection Program. If you're not aware what the Paycheck Protection Program is, it gives you up to 2.5 months your total yearly payroll per employee if you're a small business owner. So if you did get one draw of the Paycheck Protection Program, you can actually get a second one. That's one important thing to keep in mind. And the good thing about the Paycheck Protection Program is even though it's considered a loan, if you use it properly, it's actually fully forgiven. So I'm going to explain everything, and then I'm going to go over the first and second draw regulations. Also, I'm going to suggest the best places to apply. So stay tuned. Well, first of all, on the 11th, they set up the first draw eligibility application, which means if it's the first time you applied, they gave you 2 days head start over the other people. I have no idea why they did this because really it doesn't even make any sense, but this is the government. So if you didn't get one and it was the 11th to now, which you can still apply, you can apply for a first draw. Typically what you need is your tax return, some proof of payroll. If you're self-employed, your tax returns. And as a self-employed person, I actually got turned down twice, by the way. But I knew I could legally apply, but they said I made too much money. But the problem is they only give you up to $100,000 per employee. So when you're looking at that, the government regulations say if you make over $100,000, you just apply for $100,000, which gives you roughly about $20,000 total if you want that amount. So keep in mind, if you're using it for qualified uses, you do not have to pay it back. You just have to fill out the required forms. So if you are having financial difficulties due to the coronavirus pandemic, I would recommend applying for the Paycheck Protection Program. If your business is struggling, apply for the Paycheck Protection Program. So the second draw started today on the 13th. It's the 13th right now. If you got your first draw, to get the second draw, you have to have under 300 employees. You have to have a 25% reduction in gross receipts. And that's pretty much it. So basically, it's pretty simple to be able to apply. Let's look at these in more detail. So your Paycheck Protection Program, their first draw loan. Basically, the first draw loan can be used for payroll costs, funding benefits, interest, rent, utilities, workers, protection costs for COVID-19, or to pay for vandalism and looting. Your forgiveness terms. Basically, your term is the term you're stating you're using the funds for. That's 8 to 24 weeks of covered use. And if you use it for employee compensation, at least 60% needed to go to payroll. If that's what you did, they actually will fully forgive this loan. So who can apply? Eligible entities and their affiliates are applicable. You have to have 500 or fewer employees for your first draw. For the second one, it's a little bit different, so stay tuned. And you could be almost anything: nonprofit, veterans organization, tribal concerns, self-employed, sole proprietorship, independent contractors. Pretty much anybody could apply for this. Entities with more than 500 employees in certain industries that meet SBA's alternative size standards, they may also apply. So reapplying and loan increases. Existing PPP borrowers that did not get loan forgiveness by the 27th may reapply for the first draw. Okay, or if they did not, where to apply? Borrowers can apply for a first draw until March 31st, 2021 through any existing SBA lender. So there's so many that would qualify for this. Local community banks and online fintechs is what I would suggest. I use Blue Vine. They did a great job. It was very easy. They actually approved me in about 4 hours. Approved me and told me they were sending me my money the next business day. So I just want to say that was very easy. Okay, ensuring access for all. SBA continues to call upon lending partners and community development financial institutions. So, and this is your second draw. The second Paycheck Protection Programs now allows certain eligible borrowers that previously received a loan to get a second draw. That means you can get a second term for the similar uses. You have to use it for the same covered period, 18 to 24 weeks. Employee compensation, as required by the first draw, at least 60% needs to go to payroll costs, and then loan proceeds are spent on other eligible expenses. Then it's fully forgiven. So this is a little bit more targeted. You have to be previously, to get a second draw, you have to have the first draw, you had to have it forgiven, and you have to have no more than 300 employees and demonstrate at least 25% reduction in gross receipts between comparable quarters of the previous year. So if you can do that, you can get a second draw. Maximum loan amount for increased assistance and food service businesses. Most borrowers of the maximum loan amount for the second draw is 2.5 times the average monthly payroll, or up to $2 million. For borrowers in the combination food service, click here to confirm the maximum amount for a second draw, which is 3.5 times the average monthly amount. So in my opinion, that's great because food service has been hit the worst, and I think the draw amount has been too low. Some people told me that were in the restaurant industry, they opened up, and then of course, as soon as the PPP money ran out, they had to close because they couldn't afford to keep open. So there's a waiver for 3.5% for food service. And of course, the same thing, how do you apply? You can go to, I recommend community banks and also online fintechs, Cabbage, PayPal, Blue Vine. I found Blue Vine worked very well and was the easiest. And that's it. This is the Paycheck Protection Program. As soon as they do update the EDIL, I'm going to put more information about that. But this is a great program. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you don't mind. Share this with other business owners you know, and subscribe if you're new. Have a great day.